Hi, welcome. It's December 1st, and I've been away for a while and wanted to come on and share a video with you. And so happy December 1st, first of all. For those of you in the United States, hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Um, so today is the first day of the last month of this decade, which maybe you're aware of that, but that's kind of a big deal. And next January 1st, in a month, we'll be welcoming in a whole new decade, not just a new year. So it's a big thing. So in this video, I just want to talk similarly to what the title says. So a little energy update, little recap of the last couple months briefly, and then talk about December, prepping for 2020, and then the 12 days of Christmas, and also Paris. So a few items. Just to go back to last November and October, it was for many of us, many people, and even institutions, the last September, October, November was a big time of releasing, letting go of fears and plans and emotions, and shifting into new ways that are in alignment with your higher self and your best, really what's best for you as an individual, and following your path, the path you were born to follow, which often gets lost, as we know, along the way. So it's been about the past year, really the whole year and the whole decade since 2010. It's been a lot about really figuring out what's important to you, to each of you, and then also transmuting fears and maybe emotions and just shifting and growing, of course. As we think about that, like that we're ending a decade, if you want to take a moment to think about what's been going on for you since 2010, I would imagine that there's been a lot of big shifts, some really positive, hopefully, and some great times, and also maybe some things you really wouldn't want to redo, right? And so for many, October, November has been kind of a big, maybe not a final clearing and releasing, but an opportunity to clear out a lot of things so that we don't have to redo those topics in 2020 or going forward. And also in October and November, and even before that, we've had all of us have had a lot of cosmic assistance to help shift out of patterns and things that don't serve us. It might be health habits. It might be what you're doing, who you're doing it with, how you spend your time, some of your beliefs and things like that. And also old emotions that don't serve you anymore, or old patterns. And we've had all this cosmic assistance from the universe, from the angels, and guides, and whoever you associate as a guide for you, and literally also from the light of the sun. The sun has been shifting. I've talked about this before in the last couple of years, to help all of us shift into a better and higher place for ourselves and for the planet and for the universe and the world. So maybe for some of you, you even had old stuff come up, whether it was old dramas, emotional dramas, or old medical things that you thought were done with. And so clearing those out and seeing what was behind that and letting it go. So now we welcome in December, yay, last month of 2019. And things really seem very positive. There's been a big shift, I think, since probably a week ago. There was a new moon, and I definitely felt a shift around that time. And good time for creativity, for looking at what's coming up for you, what you want to focus on. not just in December, but also going forward into next year. And December, I love December. Um, it's really that kind of magical time of year. We don't always think of it that way, but December is leading up to Christmas and also to the winter solstice first, the 20th and 21st of December, and then Christmas, and then to the end of the year. So New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And also it is the 12 days of Christmas also are in there. So I'll talk about those a little later. So this December, as always, but especially this December, because a lot of people have really shifted a lot of things this year, it's really important, even though you may be working on new projects and creativity and ideas and seeding and planting things. So things are always planted in the dark. So this is a great time to plant new ideas and seeds and just contemplate and reflect on things that you're looking forward to shifting and changing if you want to do that. So it's a good time to do that, but also there's still a need for extra rest and self-care. So be good to yourself if you can. Really take some extra time. Slow down. This holiday season is often a little overrun, but it's really naturally calls us into introspection and quiet time, because it is the darkest time of the year, at least until the solstice. So as many of you saw in the title, one of the items is the 12 Days of Christmas. I have all these notes I'm looking at, so that's why I'm looking down. Around earlier mid-November, actually around my birthday, I was asked to create a few videos on the 12 Days of Christmas. And I have to say, at the beginning, I was a little surprised because I thought I'd be doing some teaching on some other topics. But my team and guides have been very persistent, and my higher self, that this is important. And it's also something that I actually have a bit of a passion for. It kind of comes and goes. So it does make sense. About 4 years ago, I had a Twitter account, actually 2 Twitter accounts, I believe, and I had a second Instagram account, which I haven't used in a while. And I did a series that December on both Twitter and Instagram, on my other Instagram account, on the 12 Days of Christmas. And it really brought me so much joy, and it was pretty magical. So, and then so then it seems to be coming back very strongly right now as something that I'm supposed to work on and share with people. And actually, when I thought back to it recently, as a child and a teenager, and even into my 20s, always actually, but even as a child, I loved the time between Christmas Day and Epiphany. Epiphany is January 6th. And this is the 12 Days of Christmas. So the 12 Days of Christmas are defined by the days of either December 25th, Christmas Day, or the day after, the 26th, which is in England is Boxing Day, and then through January 5th or January 6th. And January 6th is the Epiphany. It's also called Three Kings Day in many cultures and countries. It's the day that the Magi, the wise men, who were really astrologers and really way ahead of their time, visited Jesus and Mary and Joseph. And, with the shepherds round, I'm sure you know the story. And the star was above them. The big star guided them, which has always been a magical story for me, because I have a very strong affinity to stars and different types of stars. So, and then when I was a child and a teenager, I always had this really love of that time, starting the day after Christmas, the 26th, through early January. And I didn't know why. I mean, I just thought, oh, it's quiet, it's not too busy. But my summers as a child were not very busy either. So there was something different about this time of year. And because I always liked to write and do kind of artistic things, maybe that was why. I'm not sure. But it just felt very sacred to me as a child and a teenager, and still does today. And so I want to share some of that magic and meaning with everybody else. And also we'll go into some of the history of the meaning of it, actually, or the supposed meanings of the 12 days of Christmas. So what are some things you can do now? As always, it's really good to ground. If you can go outside in nature, or just, spend a couple minutes outside if it's too cold, or look out the window, it's really great. And meditation or quiet time, as always, even if it's just breathing, just a couple slow, deep breaths are really, really life-changing. And they're a gift to yourself, because when you're calmer and more centered, everything works better for you and everybody else around you. So it's in the highest good of not just you, but everybody else around you. It's 11:11 anyway on the time of the video. So, and ask for assistance. Your support team, angels, guides, source, spirit, the universe, the divine, God, creator, whatever you work with or whatever feels supportive for you, ask for assistance. There's that great line, ask and you shall receive. And I really believe that on so many levels. So ask for help from the spirit realm and also from others. It's a great time to do that. So, and also through this fall, I wanted to do a video earlier. I just was not in a place to do it in October or November, but I think I did a post in November for y'all. But one of the themes that's been coming up is hope. Hope, hope, hope. Hope, faith, and trust. And hope and faith are really about believing that good things are coming. And one logical way to look at this is from a scientific standpoint, which is that the universe, the world, the universe, is an expanding universe. So it's always expanding. So if you believe that from a scientific point of view, then the universe and the powers that be are helping us to expand to a better and higher place. And that helps us have more hope and faith that even when tough things are happening, they're happening to help us or the community or the country or the world shift to a better, higher place. It's better for everybody. I don't know if you can see in the background, I have one of my favorite Christmas stars. It's sitting up against one of the statues. So I put that there because I love that star. Speaking of the Christmas season. So, I'm planning to do at least 2 more videos on the 12 days of Christmas, going in depth into them, the meaning behind them, some of the mystery, and then some of the up-leveled or new interpretations of the 12 days of Christmas. And so if you have any comments or questions about anything I've talked about or the 12 days of Christmas, please leave them below. If there's anything you'd like me to look into, I'd love that. And so I have a lot to share with you. And also, quick ending note, I am going to be going to Paris in a week or two. And when I go to Europe, especially to Paris, but also when I've gone to other places in Europe, I go to sacred sites because they have a lot of power. And they're really nice places to connect to the unseen. The veil is thin in those places and very powerful. And so I'm probably going to be offering some sort of, if you have prayer intentions and things like that, I may put an offering out there for people to join in on. So lots of love, and hope you have a wonderful week. And happy December. I'm hoping to post the first video on the 12 days of Christmas next weekend on December 6th through the 8th. Much love. Take good care.